It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
I dedicated so much time to working hard. I triple that to submit the fact I don't work a job. My God, I was undervalued, underestimated, misunderstood. Had to sacrifice myself for them frankers like making good. Fuck it. Gave myself a budget, balancing funds and some crutches. Sit back and watch the industry when they smile, I can't trust it. Hit a 180, these artists in a 360. I plotted from watching Nipsey, I'm swinging like Jack Dipsy. Who these niggas playing? I got my fam in the shit like the Wans. It's like a wedding, how I vow to exchange with these bands. If I needed your help and I never got it, why you hitting up my line? The result could be catastrophic, yeah. I'm philanthropic, I figure fraudulent seeping through. Niggas can't read, so I can't expect them to read the room. Hard to smoke, it's really just feeding fuel. Fishing, I could feed a fool. Try me, you gon' eat from out a feeding tube. I played humble and never got what I wanted. When I start talking cash, the money just start coming. The laws of attraction ain't even outside, but I've been active. Not to mention the rapping, my pen game's scholastic. Southern underground, wavy is an ultrasound. Disrespect us, you get crescent kicked up in your mouth. Bow to my presence, my presidents take precedence. Nas told me hip-hop died, I gave him the EpiPen. I control all of this shit, autonomous. Hacking niggas like Shaq or Anonymous. Y'all been sleeping on me. I'm on the island by myself like an ottoman, y'all. Don't make me fuck up your perception like Oculus, y'all. Freak styles like Akinelli. Nothing y'all can tell me. Thumbs up to murder, Fonzarelli. Buzzing hot as Nelly. Y'all can't compare me to these 2K niggas. I be drilling in your queen like the UK niggas.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this Friday evening. In this particular video, we're going to be getting into the Joneses. We got Jim Jones going at Nasir Jones. I ain't going to say going at necessarily, but he has a new interview, as in Jim, on the Joe and Jada podcast with Fat Joe and Jadakiss. They were having a conversation on the pod, and they ended up getting into the subject of, I guess there's some 22-year-old out there from Jersey. I've never even seen the video that they're alluding to. That was basically saying, based on their introduction into hip hop, they know more music from Jim Jones than Nas, right? So that was like the start of the conversation of these two men being put in the same category, I guess. And from there, as Jim Jones began to speak about it, he kind of threw his own sauce on there to kind of make it seem like Nas is irrelevant, to make it seem like he's been out here just putting crazy hits on the board in recent years. And then he went on to say, you could pull up my catalog versus his. I got more hit records. We could go into the Billboard entries. I'm outperforming him. I'm outdoing him in all ways. And I don't mean no disrespect, but that's just what it is. That's just the facts, right? So I'm going to pull up this video, but then we're also going to get into the actual facts, okay? Since that's what Jim Jones invited us to do.
I recently saw a clip on the Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
Yeah, that's my young boy.
big
right there.
hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my
right?
in my era too. I mean,
So
well,
to be compared,
yeah, but let me that young kid out.
All right. So, there's a few things we got to go through here, all right? Now, this is coming from somebody where in recent years, the way I've been seeing Jim Jones move, I ain't really been too keen on the way he's been moving the last few years. You know what I'm saying? Just been strange. Been moving funny, been walking funny, been talking funny, in my personal estimation. Ever since that 6ix9ine shit, you know what I mean? I don't know. Jim had a cool little thing going with that Laps Around the Summer. I like that record. I like that Laps Around the Sun. Lobby Boys had a couple joints I liked. I'm not gonna take anything from that. What was the other record he was on? Him and Jewels with Migos. What was it? We Set the Trends. Cool. But outside of those moments, Jim been acting funny. And the one thing I want to establish before we actually get into the statistics and the career lineup is after Nas dropped Illmatic, brother, he ain't had to drop another motherfucking album, song, nothing. That fucking album artwork, when you say, tell me what hip hop is, that album artwork comes up for a lot of people. We're talking about generations of people, multiple generations, from the generation that was before y'all niggas, before Nas, niggas from the 80s, niggas from the 90s, mid 90s, 2000s, your era, down to mine. Tell me what hip hop sounded. If a fucking alien came in this bitch and said, show me what hip hop is about, you press play on Illmatic from 1 to 11, niggas say, damn, that's beautiful. And then from there, you get everything else. And you dig into everything else. You dig into the source material. You dig into the samples that were used on the album. You dig into the producers that were on the album and their careers and where they came from. Just that one album, there's so much fucking depth in those 11 songs. One of the shorter albums released in this fucking category. Jim Jones, you don't have one of those. There's not one album in your category, catalog, got me fucking up my words, that somebody gonna say, what is the essence of hip hop? What represents hip hop? Jim Jones, you are probably the 300th nigga on the lineup. If we could even find 299 to put ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? And that sounds disrespectful, but it's realistic. Now, Jim Jones, you do have a certain level of success, right? You also have independent records that you put out at the height of your career, when it wasn't necessarily cool to be independent. Like, you have things, you have positives in your direction. I'm not here to disparage Jim Jones or take anything away from Jim Jones and his accomplishments. He has songs that, shit, when I was in high school, I fucking loved Summer with Miami. I fucking loved G's Up, nigga, hose down. If the bitch can't swim, she gon' drown. Running the streets, toting a 4-pound. You ain't know we was them niggas and nigga, you know now. Gypsy. I loved that fucking record in high school. Bro, I used to play Diary of a Summer more than the average person. Certified Gangsters? Yeah. What's the other shit? Like, I could name Jim Jones records. You know what I mean? Fucking, I ain't finna do this shit. Emotionless. All the, man, come on. But at the same time, that don't mean you get to come out here and disrespect Nas and play on that nigga top like you done took over the spot. Last I checked, Nas got a Grammy in this decade for Album of the Year. In this decade, in the 2020s. But XXL went ahead and went out of their way to do Jim Jones and Nas by the numbers. And XXL says Jones may want to do a bit more research. According to Billboard, Jimmy has had 2 songs reach the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Oh boy. We Fly High and Pop Champagne, featuring Ron Browse and Joel Santana. Shout out to those 2 records. Those are 2 big records. We Fly High, bullin'. It did what it was supposed to do. Pop Champagne, I ain't like that record. I hated that record. But, you know, it still did its thing. They say, on the other hand, Nas has notched 27 songs on the same chart. Now, I'm quite sure Jim Jones actually meant let's pull up the Billboard hip hop, probably the Billboard R&B hip hop charts to see how many times. Because I'm sure he has way more entries on that chart, but Hot 100 is basically across all genres. You know what I'm saying? What's the hottest shit out? And he has 2 entries versus Nas 27. Crazy. They say as far as the Billboard 200 chart goes, which is, I believe, on the album chart, they say Nas has had 24 titles enter the chart, including 6 projects that peaked at number 1. I don't even think Nas has 24 albums, so this must be goddamn greatest hits upon greatest hits upon greatest hits in that motherfucker too. They say in comparison, Jim Jones has had 9 projects make the chart with 3 top 10 entries and no number 1 releases. So Nas has 6 number 1 albums, Billboard 200. Jim Jones has 0 number 1s in this category. And we're only entertaining numbers talk because that's what Jim Jones wanted to say. Because if we're going to talk lyrical skill, there's no conversation to have. Hands down, Nas is one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, as far as lyrics go in the game. You know what I'm saying? You can never compare to that. But your best bet was to try to go numbers. And even in the numbers category, you still getting shitted on with no toilet paper. Wow. Is there more to this? I don't think there needs to be any more. But let's see. So now we're on Music VF. Okay? And this is outlining Jim Jones, some of his most popular music throughout his career. And as you can see, or maybe you don't, maybe you can. You'll see in this category over here, it says US R&B peak, and it has US peak. These are Billboard, okay? So the US R&B hip hop peak, which is what I was just talking about, you'll see that's where the majority of his Billboard entries actually lie. None of them are really, well, I won't say none of them, but most of them are not in the actual Billboard Hot 100, but they did rank in the R&B hip hop area. So Certified Gangsters, featuring Game, Cameron, and Bezel, it peaked at number 80 on the R&B hip hop charts. Get Crunk Music from his album On My Way to the Church, which I used to play that album too, featuring Cam and Jewels, peaked at 84. You got Baby Girl from the Diary of a Summer album, that peaked at number 58 on the same chart. Summer with Miami featuring Trey Songz peaked at number 78. What You've Been Drinking On peaked at 106. And that had Diddy on it and couldn't get any higher. Whoa. And Paul Wall, who was fucking scorching hot at that time. We Fly High, that peaked at number 5 on the Hot 100 and also peaked at number 4 on the R&B hip hop charts. We Fly High. Bowling. Emotionless peaked at number 91, featuring Joel Santana on the R&B hip hop charts. Love Me No More, 103 peak. Good Stuff peaked at 103. Na 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 peaked at 75. Wishing on a Sucker MC, I never even heard the song, peaked at 122. Gretzky, 113. Blow Your Smoke, 112. 112. Perfect Day peaked at number 67. Damn, this shit don't go no further. I mean, I guess that's far enough, because where's the hits? And since we're here, we might as well go through Nas. So, got Halftime on here, 125 on the R&B hip hop charts. And of course, Halftime, I don't even think that was technically a single, but that was from Illmatic. It Ain't Hard to Tell peaked at number 91 on the Hot 100. It also peaked at number 57 on the R&B hip hop charts. Excuse me. Also peaked at number 64 on UK charts, which I don't even think Jim Jones had songs on the UK charts. The World Is Yours peaked at 114. And then 67 on the hip hop R&B. One Love 106 on the hip hop R&B. Affirmative Action, which technically wasn't even really a single, number 75 R&B. If I Ruled the World peaked at 53 on the Hot 100, 17 in the hip hop R&B, 12 in UK. Street Dreams peaked at number 22 on the Hot 100, 18 hip hop R&B, number 12 in UK. One Love, which is a song that was released in 1994, re-entered the hip hop and R&B charts in 1997 multiple times. Okay, so in 97 it peaked at 121 on hip hop R&B, and the next year, 98, it went back up the charts to 125, and that song was already 3 to 4 years old by the time it re-entered the chart. Nas's Like peaked at number 86 on the Hot 100, 30 in hip hop R&B. Hate Me Now peaked at number 62 Hot 100, 18 hip hop R&B, number 14 UK. You Won't See Me Tonight 121 Hot 100, so it was out of the 100, but it was in the 200. 44 in hip hop R&B, KISSING, that really don't count, but it still was top 50, where Jim Jones was like in 80s and hundreds, even on the R&B and hip hop. Nostradamus was peaked at 92 on the Hot 100, 27 hip hop R&B, 24 UK. You Owe Me peaked at 59 on the Hot 100, 13 hip hop R&B. Got Yourself a Gun peaked at number 87 on the Hot 100, 37 hip hop R&B, 30 UK. Ether really isn't a single, but it peaked at number 50 on hip hop R&B. One Mic peaked at 43 Hot 100, 14 hip hop R&B. It's a lot of records. We just now in 2002. Jim Jones, what the fuck is you on, bro? Like I'm and we ain't even got the I Can, which is one of his biggest records. People make fun of that song, but it's one of the bigger ones. Made You Look peaked at 32 on the Hot 100, 12 R&B hip hop, 27 UK. Not to mention Kiss was on the remix with Luda. I Can peaked at 12 on the Hot 100, 7 R&B hip hop, 19 UK. Heaven technically wasn't a single, but it was used on film soundtracks. Peaked at 118 on R&B hip hop. Last Real Nigga Alive, that's for certain, peaked at 120. These ain't even singles. Get Down wasn't a single. Peaked at number 76 on the hip hop R&B. Nas Angels the Flyest, I don't even remember. Oh, that's from the fucking Charlie's Angels soundtrack. Peaked at number 72. Thief's Theme, I wouldn't even call that a single, but it did have a music video. Peaked at number 60 on the hip hop R&B. You Know My Style, 63 hip hop R&B. Bridging the Gap peaked at 94 on the Hot 100, 49 on the hip hop R&B, 18 UK. Virgo, again, not really a single. 69 on the R&B hip hop charts. Just a Moment. Shout out to Quan, featured on Just a Moment. Can we please have a moment of silence? When day goes and night falls, what? Shout out to fucking Quan. 117 on the Hot 100, so that really wasn't in the Hot 100. It's in the top 200 though. 52 on the R&B hip hop. Where Y'all At? That was like a street single. Hip Hop Is Dead. Hip Hop is dead. Number 41 on the hip hop. On the Hot 100. So we could just keep we could keep playing this game all we want, but we see Nas clearly has way more single success than Jim Jones, and Nas ain't even known for having like huge fucking singles. Like, he's an album artist. He's a catalog nigga. You don't even want to go to fucking album sales, Jim. I think Stillmatic damn near gets your entire career out of here. Hell, I Am might get your whole fucking career out of here. And I Am you start getting into I Am and that fucking Nostradamus album, the stuff that wasn't as highly touted as his best work. It was written, certainly get your shit the fuck out of here. I think it was written as damn near 3 times platinum or some shit. You going out sad, Jimmy. You going out sad. You going out kicking and screaming. You going out a hater for no reason. Now, one thing I must address, I can't skip over this because this is actually pretty vital. I think Jim Jones is still harboring energy for Nas because back in, 2004, 2003, 2002, 2000, you know what I'm saying? That era, around the time Stillmatic was coming out, Nas had issues with Dipset. He had issues with Cam. Jim Jones tried to diss him. A hilarious diss, talking at the end of, what song was that? Purple Haze? I really mean it. I don't know how I fucked that one up. I really mean it. That's it. Isn't that lame? Nussy. I ain't gonna say your last name because it's mine, nigga. All that shit. Yeah, y'all niggas tried to ride on Nas at that time. You said you became the Koofy smacker. You know what I mean? I get it. It feels like you're still holding on to that energy from 20 years ago. And the nigga was better than you back then. Nigga still better than you today. Nigga still has more accolades than you and is better than you as an artist, as a rapper. Even as you think you're fly today, Nas effortlessly is flyer than you. Even in that regard. You ain't got no ends in me class. Oh boy. Fucking sad. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and and they tell me they poppin' haters like calories. Cross some out, came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.